Hi, welcome to Insurance for Homeowners. My name is Jennifer Nelson and I own Nelson Financial Group, which is an all-state agency located in Islip, New Jersey. Today I want to talk to you about everything you need to know about insurance before you buy a home or before you renew your current policy. The first thing I want to talk about is the dwelling coverage on your homeowner's policy. This covers your home's entire structure along with any detached structures such as sheds or garages. The most important thing to consider is the replacement cost of your home. This isn't the market value or the purchase price of your home, although that's a good place to start. We are actually concerned with how much would it cost to rebuild your home if it were to be completely destroyed in a covered loss such as a fire. And the things that we want to consider when we're talking about the replacement cost are the square footage of the home and the amenities in the home. For example, do you have hardwood floors? Do you have ceramic tile? Is the kitchen or the bathrooms custom? Has there been an addition to the house? Do you have upgraded fixtures, or have you changed the roof recently? These things are all going to increase the amount of your dwelling coverage, and we want to make sure that we are able to have enough insurance to restore your home to the way it was before your loss. If you're buying a condo, your dwelling coverage is going to typically cover from the sheetrock in. Usually your condo association policy will cover the external walls, but your policy, you'll be responsible for everything inside your unit, from the kitchen cabinets to the flooring to the light fixtures and the bathroom. That would all be your responsibility to replace and would be covered by your condo policy. The next most important coverage on your homeowner's policy is your personal property coverage. This covers all of your personal belongings, such as your furniture, clothing, electronics, and so forth. Usually there's a maximum amount of coverage that's covered on your policy, and typically that amount is about 50 to 75% of your dwelling amount. So if you're insuring your home for $300,000, you'll usually have at least $150,000 of coverage for your personal belongings. There are, however, internal limits in most policies for certain types of items like jewelry and furs. If you have those items and they're valued above the internal limit of your policy, you can almost always purchase a rider to cover those items up to the appraised value of that item. Also, you need to make sure your policy has replacement cost for your personal property. There is an option usually for actual cash value, but if you have a couch or a TV that's 10 years old, if we give you the actual cash value for that 10-year-old item, you won't be able to replace it, or you'll be shopping at Goodwill or, in bargain basement type of places. You won't be able to replace the item with the same quality as what you had. So you want to make sure that you get replacement costs instead of actual cash value on your personal property. The next coverage that I want to talk about is loss of use. If a covered loss puts you out of your home, many homeowners' policies will cover the reasonable increase in expenses needed to maintain your normal standard of living. This could include payments for temporary housing, food, or rental income and other expenses. The last coverage that I want to talk about may be the most important coverage on your policy, and that is your family liability coverage. Family liability coverage protects you against the financial uncertainty of being sued from any injury or property damage that you or your family may cause on or away from your property. So this covers you whether someone trips on your sidewalk and decides to sue you, or if you're in Starbucks and spill hot coffee on them and they decide to sue you. It usually covers compensation for the injured party, the cost of defending you in court and any court awards, or settlements up to the limits of your policy. Usually I recommend a minimum of $300,000 of liability protection for homeowners, but we can usually sell you up to $500,000 of coverage under your homeowner's policy. There are a few other things that I want you to consider. First, if you haven't yet bought your home, you need to think about renter's insurance. Renter's insurance is going to protect your personal property. Your landlord has coverage for the building that you live in. However, there's no coverage under the landlord's policy to protect your personal belongings. So just like the homeowner's policy that we talked about, your renter's insurance is going to give you coverage for your personal property, for loss of use, and for liability. And it's very affordable. Typically, renter's insurance runs less than $200 a year for most people, depending on how much personal property coverage they need. There are a few things that you need to think about after you purchase your home. First, you want to review your auto insurance liability limits to make sure they match your homeowner's insurance liability limits. Now that you have this new asset, you want to make sure that you're not putting it at risk every time you get behind the wheel of your car. Most liability claims come because of auto accidents. The second thing you want to think about is flood insurance. Every house is in a flood zone. It's just a question of whether the zone is a moderate, low, or high risk. In low and moderate risk zones, you don't have to buy flood insurance. In high risk zones, you are required to buy flood insurance. You want to talk about the risk that you're taking with your agent and make sure you feel comfortable with the level of risk that you're taking regarding your flood insurance. Last but not least, you want to consider whether or not you need umbrella coverage. An umbrella policy is going to increase the total amount of your liability coverage over the limits on your auto and homeowners insurance policies. Your umbrella coverage starts at $1 million of coverage, and depending on your assets, you can get as much as $5 million of coverage. The amount of coverage is totally dependent on the assets that you have to protect. Again, you should talk with your agent about whether or not this coverage makes sense for you. Last but certainly not least, I want to talk to you about ways to save money on your insurance. The first way is to talk to your agents about possible discounts. Many times you can get discounts for having all of your insurance with the same agent or company. Sometimes there's discounts for the age of your home or improvements like a new roof. And sometimes there's discounts like for protective devices on your home. For example, having a burglar alarm, fire extinguishers, or deadbolt locks. Discounts are going to vary from company to company, so make sure you check with your agent to make sure you're getting all of the discounts that you're eligible for. The next thing you want to think about is raising your deductibles. We talked before about replacement cost. You want to make sure that you're insuring your home and not the land that it sits on. You want to make sure that you review your policy annually. Your life changes, your carrier is going to change things. You want to make sure that your life is keeping up with your insurance and that, again, you're getting all the discounts and advantages that you can possibly get from your carrier. You want to look into making your payments electronically. A lot of times you can actually get a discount, or sometimes you can just save money in installment and processing fees by having your payments deducted automatically from your checking or savings account. Last but certainly not least, you want to check your credit rating. Some carriers use credit as a factor, some don't, but you want to know exactly how they're using it, what information they're pulling, and if you improve your credit over time, you want to tell them so that they can rerun that information and make sure that you're getting the best possible rates. I want to thank you for watching this presentation, and I will leave this screen up for just a moment so you can see all of the ways that you can contact our agency if you have any questions or if you want a rate. Our website at www.nelsonfinancialonline has a short video about our agency, and it also has a place where you can put your information in to request a quote for any type of insurance. Thank you again, and have a wonderful day.